Hi everyone, Mark from Audio Pursuit. And today I want to talk to you about the revolution in home audio. And really, it begins with powered speakers because that's where the change is happening, along with streaming and so forth. But really, powered speaker. Why? Less components to worry about. Put them in place, use your phone, turn on, listen to some music, and away you go. And really, that's what people are looking for. So many of them. Now, us audiophiles, hey, we still crave the great sound, but a lot of us have spouses, partners, you name it, they aren't interested. They just want to have something that they can get powered up and listening to music without being driven nuts by buttons and so forth. Well, enter KEF's LSX IIs. Now, as you can see, they include KEF's wonderful UniQ driver, where the tweeter is actually embedded in the main driver, just like kind of the old days of coax car speakers. Now, as you can see, being a lifestyle speaker, they're going with some different styling, not their traditional wood. This is kind of a fabric finish. As you can see, kind of a real light tan with some, I guess, medium level brown striping in them. Fabric, hey, it works. It actually, I was kind of wondering about them at first, but I actually like the looks of them now. They grew on me quite a bit. The main thing you need to know is that when you get these home and you open them up, first thing you want to do is grab your phone, go to your app store, and download the KEF Connect app. And I want to tell you this up front. What a great piece of software design. KEF has put on there some special music, first of all, when you look across the top, and take a listen. It's kind of fun to hear what music they pick that they think really makes these speakers stand out. And they're right. Now you go down below it, you see in the second area, you got your remote. And what it also does is it sets up your different choices. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, TV, and yes, that means hooking up your TV to the system, okay? Optical input, USB, and auxiliary. Now, the auxiliary is an analog input, and here's the key. If you've got an off-board DAC that you love, let's say a Chord Mojo or an Oppo HA1 that you want to use with this just to get even more out of the sound than the built-in DAC, go for it. Yes, it is a wired connection, but you know what? It sounds really good. Then you got your music choices right now. So you can go with Amazon, Deezer, Qobuz, Spotify, Tidal. Rumor has it that Apple is coming soon to it. We'll see. And then you've got podcasts that you can do. And then you can use music from your network if you got a UPN setup. Now, this is all great, but there's more. You've got EQ settings. Yeah, incredible. You can set up whether your speakers are on the desk or on stands or even wall mounted. You can adjust your treble and your phase correction, your bass extension, and your balance control. And as you slide down on the EQ settings, you can go to your subwoofer out. So guess what? When you add a little subwoofer to this, yeah, it makes these even more fun. And you can adjust your high pass frequency on it, which is terrific. I rave about the high pass cutoff on the Parasound P5 and P6 preamplifiers. You've got it right here. Okay, you can boost up your sub gain. And then they ask you specifically if you're using the KEF KEW1 subwoofer. And that's a little sweetheart from everything I've heard about it. Talked to a few friends who experienced it, and they think the world of it. Now, you can also go into the settings area, so you can adjust various things, standby mode, wake up source, tone cable power mode. You can check for updates. You can reset your home screen if you want. You can check your analytics. What music are you listening to? Kind of cool stuff. Now let's talk about the remote a little bit here. It's a very, very simple remote. And that's okay. It doesn't need to be much because, let's face it, you have your phone or your pad to do a lot of it. But it's just a simple one that you can control. Works just fine. Sits in the hand. It's plastic. And once in a while, if you want to just grab just to adjust the volume, and here's something really cool. KEF's volume jump is not very high. So you can really target in what volume appeals to you. So you don't hit one and it blasts it up 5 dB. No, it seems to be in truly 1, maybe 2 dB increments. Much easier to work with. So for changing volume, I recommend the remote. So on the back, you got kind of 4 levels of things here. You have these small buttons for reset, basically your pairing, and then your Bluetooth connection. Next level is your type of connection. Okay, now keep in mind, these are Wi-Fi, so that's one. But you also have choice, if you want to go with physical connection, you've got your optical, your USB, your auxiliary, which is a 1/8 headphone. So what you want to do is get yourself some sort of splitter jack, plug it in, and then you've got your sub out. Okay? Down below, you've got your HDMI for your sound. Now, this is not an ARC-controlled HDMI. Please keep that in mind, but it does allow you to use it. Then this middle one here, this is your Cat5 cable, your networking cable that goes from one to the other if you want your best possible sound quality. Otherwise, it uses its own Wi-Fi bandwidth to send the signal to the other one. I did both. I found a slight improvement with this, but if you can hide the wire, great, I would use the wire. But if you don't like wires and you can't hide it, go with the Wi-Fi signal between them. Then you'll be pretty happy with it. And then finally, you've got your network. So your yellow one, if you want to plug in and go with a hardwired network and not worry about Wi-Fi, for whatever reason, maybe your house is all configured that way and it's hardwired, hey, whatever works for you. Then finally on the bottom, your power cord. Now, on the slave, all you got is the network and then your pairing. So that's it. Now, I really want to tell you about what is the specialty of the LSX2s. Percussion. From Tito Puente to Mr. Kamikaze himself, the late great Keith Moon, Neil Peart, you name it, when it comes to percussion, these little speakers are dynamos. They absolutely just live in the percussion world. And that includes heavy piano. So if you got somebody who's really striking the piano hard, let's say in some Elton John's rocker songs, you're going to hear it. And the thing about it is with the amplifier built in, which is 70 watts per channel for the main driver and 30 watts for each one for the tweeter, you're gonna hear it, and you get a little bit of a bump, especially the mid-range drumming, and the congos, just all of that. I mean, Tito Puente was just terrific listening on these. So, do yourself a favor when you try them out. Find some really good percussion, put it on salsa music, something like that. You're gonna have a blast. Orchestral music is not their absolute forte. Yes, for movie soundtracks, they'll play it. I listen to these with the movie The Right Stuff, one of my all-time favorites. And, the soundtrack to that includes Gustav Holst's songs from the planets, including Jupiter, of all which is that, just powerful march. And then when you hear the rockets light up and so forth, these things accounted well for themselves. They missed that bottom octave. They didn't have that. So I plugged in the subwoofer and I got it. Going back to the Who for bass notes. John Entwistle, you don't hear much of them. That's where you got to have a sub. And that's why KEF really pushes their own little sub that's designed to go with these. But I have a little Totem Acoustic Dreamcatcher paired up quite nicely. So understand that, once again, these are a lifestyle speaker. That's their forte. They are not for dedicated heavy use, once again, as an audiophile, sit back and analyze it. No. This is about put it on, enjoy life, read the newspaper, read a book, watch a movie with them, just casually have a conversation, glass of wine with your significant other, cheese and crackers, whatever. That's what these are about. If you're in an office setting, you got background music while you're accomplishing what you need to get done. And in that regard, the LSX2s by KEF are really, really fun. A few other gripes. Okay, gotta say this. And it's gonna sound crazy, and it's strictly visual. If you look at the different color choice, the cobalt blue, the red, the black, and so forth, one of the strange things is they're cobalt blue units, okay? Basically, the driver and the tweeter are both this, gold color. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Don't you think the tweeter should be cobalt blue with the cobalt blue speakers instead of with these? It doesn't match. And I'm sorry, there's just this beautiful monochromatic color scheme here with the 2 levels of tan, and they add that in? No. Please, KEF, give us the full golden. It looks better. It disappears into the room because that's what you want. You want these things to disappear. They're lifestyle speakers. So I hope you're listening there. This is what's going to help bring audio back to the masses, is self-powered speakers, fewer units, and with streaming, that's what it's all about. Now, if we could just get the streaming companies to support our artists a little better, that would be heavenly. But in the meantime, if you've got a small space, I listen to these in basically an 11 by 10 room, with the exception of when I did the movie. But really, for what you're going to use them for, which is lifestyle, they did fine in my living room, which is some 20 some odd feet long and about 14 feet deep, I think it is. So nothing wrong there. They did fine for what their purpose was, which was to have music on while we enjoyed other things. You're looking for small powered speakers, you got to get your ears on these to help you make your decision. Because between that and its absolutely first-rate app, you'd be hard-pressed to go wrong. Especially at just their new price of just $9.99 for the pair. They were $1,300. So, the value is really coming around on these. So until next time, take care.